The truth about flood zones in southeast Queensland. Everyone loves a bargain property, but flood zones have been a big topic in southeast Queensland over the last few decades. So we're going to unpack the truth about flood zones, what you need to understand, and how you can be well researched to make a sound property purchase decision in this market that has rivers and flood overlays and bayside options as well. Now, what's the problem with flood zones? Well, they can potentially destroy your asset and destroy your equity and the demand from other buyers over the long term. You can see that the Brisbane CBD, this is South Bank, and Brisbane, Fish Lane and South Bank as well, can go underwater in a lot of locations. And so this can hurt your resale value as well as your insurance premiums can go through the roof if you've got a flood overlay on your property. So talking about flood zones today isn't just about your car flooding or your living room flooding. Why should this matter to you? Well, you've got to be aware of the risks. So it could impact your holding cost if you buy a flood prone asset. The risk number 2 is it impacts your ability to resell. So it's going to hurt your ability to sell to other owner occupiers or investors if your property has previously flooded or if it's got an overlay on the asset. Risk number 3 is the impact on your ability to add value. Because these assets tend to be damaged in the floods, and we've had a few over the last few decades, you've just got to be wary about adding value to the property and maybe needing to raise the asset off the ground. Another risk to consider is the impact on your peace of mind. Sleep at night factor is important, and I personally have never bought a property with a flood overlay in my own property portfolio because of these risks. Now, not all flood risks are the same. There's actually different types of floods. We've got river flooding, so the Brisbane River or the Logan River are good examples. We've got creek and overland flow paths to consider. And we've got tidal surges, which is your bayside location. So there are different types of flooding to be wary of. So what are some common mistakes we see as buyers agents and myself as an investor in the market? The first thing is thinking that high set means you're safe. If your property is raised, it doesn't mean that the flood levels won't get to that height. And as we're seeing, that sometimes these maps aren't very accurate, and so you just need to be wary of that risk. The second thing to consider is just trusting a selling agent. They're motivated to sell you the property. They don't want you to know that there might have been a flood in 2011 or 2022, or that this has storm surge flooding or things that you need to be wary of, the front or backyard floods. So don't always trust the agent on what they're saying. You're not getting accurate insurance quotes when you're looking to buy the property. Go out there. You can get insurance quotes for free. NRMA, Budget Direct, Amy, the list goes on in terms of insurance options. Go out there and get some quotes and see what the flood premiums look like and if there's a surcharge on the property. That might give you a key indicator. Number 4 is only looking at the recent flood data. Some of the councils provide historical flood mapping, and then they provide development flood mapping. What this means is there's 2 different flood maps for the same council. And you might be going, hold on, the historical maps should be accurate, right? But no, the development flood mapping is the one that you need to get an accurate assessment for insurance purposes, for development purposes. If you want to do an extension or a development or a subdivision or a strata title on the property, you need to make sure that you're looking at the correct maps. Now, your buyer's agent or your solicitors, if you're not using a buyer's agent, should be able to make sure you cover these bases when you're looking at a property deal. And on screen, this is an example of exactly how to check for this information. So in Brisbane City, they've got their own flood awareness mapping, which shows you the locations, as you can see on screen here, where there is flooding in the CBD as an example here, along Charlotte Street and Mary Street, but this section of George Street and William Street look okay. And the same here in Ipswich. Again, be wary that you're looking at the development mapping, so reach out to the specific council. You can see this house up here is flooded, but in Ipswich, this is an example of the train line, and look at the overlays along the river here. So make sure you're looking at the right flood maps for your property and you understand the risks and where this flood mapping lies. So what exactly are you checking for when you're looking at these maps? You're looking for the likelihood of flooding. It's called a proximal likelihood essentially, and they typically give a 0.1%, a 1%, 2%, 5% chance of risk of flooding. So there's a likelihood there. You then want to look at the depth. So there's registered levels that you need to assess about that risk of flooding. You then want to understand overland flow risk. Now, overland flow risk is the least risky generally in terms of flood risk because it talks about movement of water, and these maps aren't always accurate. So that's probably the one I'd say to clients that overland flow is I'd be okay with personally, as long as you understand what the groundwater looks like on that specific site. Take, for example, you've got a hilly block where it's hilly on one end and it's low on the other side, and so the water's going to run across that block. Council might have an overland flow path across the backyard of the property because of the fall of the hill that the property sits on. And that's why I'm personally saying that overland flow risk is probably the one I'd be okay with if I'm looking at any flood risk on a property. So what else have we got? We've got zoning and overlays. So you need to understand the zoning of the property and any other overlays that exist. And then insurance premiums. So check those quotes before going ahead on a deal, because if you get a $10,000 quote rather than a $2,000 quote, something might be wrong in terms of that flood risk on that property. This is an example list in Brisbane City Council of some key suburbs to watch out for. Oxley, Rockley especially, a lot of industrial and flood zone. Yeronga, New Farm, Milton, Balbowery, Chelmer, Graceville, Fairfield and Windsor. All these suburbs are generally located along or nearby the river or are very low lying like the Rockley, Oxley areas. And so just be very considerate about the suburb that you're buying in, because even if you buy in Rockley, for example, and you buy in a flood-free area, you might be on your own oasis the next time we have a major flood event where all your neighbors are underwater and you're sitting on the hill waiting to go out in your dinghy to get your lunch, for a week or 2 weeks, depending on how long the flood goes for. So below me is a photo of the McDonald's right near Suncorp Stadium. This is in Milton. And so how do you buy smart in these flood-prone areas? So use data, not emotion. Look at what the data says. Price in the risk if you are willing to buy in a flood area. Avoid if it's resale is part of your key strategy, and I personally would avoid flood overlay in most cases. Only buy if the strategy demands it. So you're going to get an excellent yield or low competition, or there's just an outlying factor. Now, honestly, I would buy in a flood zone if the deal made sense. Pick Milton, where you saw that photo of the property with McDonald's underwater. If you can price in that risk and get value, of course you buy a deal. Say all the houses in that area sell for $1 million and you get an $800,000 house. Well, maybe that risk is worth it. But for most investors that are buying long-term fundamentals, looking to hold the property for a long period of time, most of the time, the risk isn't worth the reward. So it's just something to consider. Now, to summarize our process as buyers agents, our process is to do those flood checks for our clients and give them confidence about the properties we're looking at. Assess the resale consideration of any sites that we're looking at, and be strategic that this property is going to fit into your long-term plan. 99 properties that we buy out of 100 aren't going to have a flood overlay. In the rare circumstances where we have bought flood properties, or flood overlay properties, I should say, they've tended to be on the bay side. And so the bay side is an area that I'd generally be okay with buying a flood overlay if you're 1, 2, 3, 4 streets from the bay side, because these areas have a tidal or a flood overlay from the bay rather than from creek or river or that other types of flooding. And so that's the small circumstances where we have in Brisbane when you're buying prestige property that's bayside or got views of the water, that you take the risk buying in that bayside location. So if you're looking to buy a property in Southeast Queensland and you're wanting to avoid the flood overlays and you're looking for help to help you secure that asset, head over to purposeproperty.com.au to book in a free chat with myself, and we can talk over that 20 minutes about where you're at right now and about where you're heading in terms of your property journey and how we can help secure your next deal. Thanks for watching this video. Hopefully Brisbane and Greater Brisbane doesn't have any major floods anytime soon, although we've seen it in the last 2 decades with the 2022 and the 2011 floods. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below about flood zones, and give this video a click right here because that's the one to watch next. I'll see you in the video. Peace.